shit. Hi. I'm live. I think I'm live. I think I pushed all the right buttons. I think I remembered to turn the microphone on. I think I'm a stunningly pale white blob again. But, you know, lighting situations are what they are. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Painting on Easy Mode. I'm doing some cakewalk stuff tonight, folks. But then I'm also probably going to do some, like, complicated stuff. But, anyway, hi. Been a good day. I've still got the camera doing the weird dramatic movement thing. But, I cleaned my area. Oh, look. That's not supposed to be in frame. That's still not supposed to be in frame. There we go. Anyway, hi. Before we start, let's go over all the stuff that I like to talk about at the top of the show before anybody shows up. Candy. The donation drive is still going. I'm still trying to get a new hard drive to replace the one that I broke that has all of the minis on it that I 3D print for painting. I am trying to get that replaced, and I'm trying to get a little bit extra. You'll notice that it's a $100 goal instead of the $50 to $60 that a hard drive costs. And that is the extra is to pay someone who is smarter than me to get the stuff off the old drive and get it onto the new drive. Also, sub goal for December, if we can hit 20 subs, we're 9 subs away, and these are Twitch subscriptions. Those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, if we can hit 20 subscriptions by Christmas, I'm gonna do a special stream where I paint a miniature entirely by finger painting. I'm gonna do it entirely by finger, no brushes. I'll spray prime it to give it its base coat, and then that is it. No more brushes after that. It's all fingers. It's going to be terrible, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Finally, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook and not Twitch, I highly recommend that you pop on over to Twitch, set yourself up a free account, and watch there. It's better video. You can see what I'm doing better. You can hear me better. And you get to be part of the Twitch community, which is super rad. It's my favorite social media platform. I forgot to set up, like, literally everything, so I'm getting my little Stream Deck thingy here set up. And by Stream Deck, I mean my phone. Before we begin, and like I said, it's going to be pretty easy mode today. We're going to play around with some new stuff and maybe do some, like, green stuff sculpting, but predominantly it's painting some statues and some terrain. So I'm going to be working on... I'm going to pull this mini up real quick. Let's see. There we go. Boop. I'm going to be doing her in a few streams. This is from Artisan Guild. This is their Snetharia, the Snake Queen. But I didn't do a great job printing her, so she had some gaps and like a broken shoulder piece here. And so I'm doing some green stuff to, like, get in there and fix some things before I get painting. But she comes with, like, this huge terrain set. Well, huge. She comes with, like, a terrain set. And so that's what I'm going to be working on tonight, is I'm going to be doing the terrain set. And the terrain set are 3 of these big cobra boys, which I'm going to be doing, like, old bronze statues. And then 2 of these braziers. So they're going to be like bronze bowls with like a yellowy stone base, and then we're going to get to do some fire. And then, like, this altar thing that's just going to be yellow stone, and it's got this beautiful smooth top, which is really going to be fun to play with, because I've been learning some tricks for doing the kind of stone look that I want to do. But I want to start... First thing I want to do, honestly, the first thing I want to do, honestly, is I want to fix the primer on this one, because while I was priming it, it fell, and some of the primer came off. So it's going to be one of those streams, folks. So if you were hopping on here hoping for like genius painting tips, one, you're on the wrong Twitch stream entirely, and two, it's easy mode tonight, folks. I did a really complicated paint job the last like 2 or 3 streams, and I'm not feeling it today. Oh, one last thing. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook Live, then I cannot see your comments. Hey, Slinkus! Slinkus coming in with the raid. I think this is my first, like, proper, actual, like, we didn't plan it off-stream raid. Neat. Hello! Welcome! I'm painting some miniatures over here. And, yeah, it's going to be a terribly exciting nonsense today. Oh, goodness. So, you'll have to bear with me for just a second while I remember how to paint. And I get to break out my little bucket of big brushes for this one. How's everybody doing? What do you, Slinkus, you were doing the core thing tonight? You were programming? How's your game coming along? How's everybody that came along with Slinkus doing? How's Grinnin doing? Grinnin's in here. Yeah, so painting bronze statues is about, it starts pretty damn easy. We're just going to paint it bronze with a bronze paint. I know. Wild. But we're also going to, like, we're going to age it to make these look pretty cool. I just want to do all 3 at once so that they all kind of look similar. And one doesn't look more done than the others. And they have these great facet gem eyes. And I've never done a faceted gem. I know how to do, like, a round, smooth gem. Like a cabochon kind of size or shape dealio, but I've never done facets, or never done them well anyway. Normally, if I was going to do like a newer bronze, I would have base coated this yellow or orange just to really make that bronze like scream. Just makes it super bright, but when I've got black underneath it, some of that black shows through because the bronze is a semi-transparent paint. It's a transparent medium with a little bit of pigment and some mica flakes. So some of that black comes through and it starts to make the, this is a brass, we'll get to bronze later, but it makes the brass look a bit more beat up, and I like it. I love painting things with scales, because when people who don't know miniature painting look at the finished product, for some reason they always think I hand painted each individual scale, and it gives me such a giggle. I don't think I'm getting any chat right now. That's weird. Is it working here? Nope. Okay. Cool. Everyone's just quiet today. That's fine. We all have quiet days. It has not been a quiet day around here. I currently have a 4-year-old roommate, and she had 3 complete fucking shit show breakdowns today, which was super, super fun. These snakes have like a really pronounced, like little venom spitty gland thing in their mouths. And I'm kind of thinking I might want to do something with that. Maybe I'll have like a little bit of toxic yellow liquid leaking out. It's just a nice little subtle detail that no one's really ever going to see. Alright, I gotta let that dry for a minute so that I have a place to pick it up by. Good news, we have 2 more of these fuckers we gotta paint. I thought it'd be nice this go round to do some terrain instead of some sort of like miniature monster thing that that is half naked, like I've been doing. I've done a lot of pinup style miniatures lately. I want to kind of get back into doing some game worthy stuff. I mean, I kind of did a game worthy thing on Wednesday. The Ghoul Queen, where I was playing around with painting see-through fabric. And it didn't come out super awesome, which is why there's no picture of it on the slideshow yet. But I'll get around to it. Just might want to go back into it and clean it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Because of the nature of what I'm painting, miniatures, and what they're used for, tabletop gaming, and that they are to be viewed from like, this camera is closer than the human eye will ever really get to these. There's no reason then for me to paint the roof of the mouth. And yet here I am, painting the roof of the mouth. Make sure not to get too much paint in the eyes, because I don't want to lose the details of those facets. Where's my drink? Hey, John. Good to see you, my friend. How are you doing tonight? You could try. You could try and get away with it. Taking it easy tonight, John. Just doing some terrain. Hey, that's the best kind of day right there. The day where you get paid. Hey, you send me a picture. I'd love to see how that came out. I want to see what those dreads ended up like. You know what? What am I doing? What am I thinking? Losing my damn mind, y'all. I'm gonna put just a little dab of paint or a little dab of glue here. And we'll just glue that to the pill bottle. Fuck. I have problems with big minis like this where I'll try and use blue tack to hold them to the handle and it just fails every time. Well, super glue doesn't seem to be doing great either. Well, let's get some go juice. I'm living for my super glue accelerant right now. Which makes my life so much easier. Yeah, see? There. Yeah, off for camera already. Off to a great start. Actually, since I'm using that, I can get rid of you. Yeah, now we can get some bronze. We can really do this up now. While I'm doing this, actually, what I should be doing is making 2 more handles for these other 2 snakes. I'm hoping that I'm not putting enough glue down to like really cement this in place. I'm kind of counting on being able to pull those off. So I might have just fucked myself. Very yellow. Nice. I did some like Rogue Trader first edition style dreadnoughts for John there. I 3D printed them for him. They were pretty fucking neat. Just for funsies, I also downloaded the Rogue Trader era Chaos Dreadnought. I don't know that I'll ever do anything with it, but I've got it. Well, I've got it on a hard drive that doesn't work. It's a brassy snake. This is Hashut Copper from GW. Killer bronze. Not a lot of red to it, which I really like. Just transparent enough to really let the base coat shine in. So you put it over black and it just looks aged. And then after I do the wash and the highlight and put a little verdigris on it, is really going to look aged. The idea I'm going for, and I haven't quite figured out how I want to do part of this, but I want these statues to look like they've been hiding in a jungle for, I don't know, 100 years or so. So they're going to have verdigris and, like, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do, like, a vine or vines crawling up. If I want to paint them or if I want to go get some string and try to make some vines, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We got 3 snakes to paint. Dangerous business, John. That's why you gotta. That's we need to talk marketing if we're gonna do that on those dreads, because I got chaos dreads too. I'm very into it. Alright, that is not an even coat of that copper. A purple wash over bronze. I've done purple over gold, and I wasn't crazy about how it looked. I was gonna do red, but now I kind of want to try that purple and green combo you're talking about. That, yeah. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Hell with it. Who's gonna stop me? Alright, so there's one coppery snake. Let's finish this guy up. This is always the most boring part of the mini painting process to watch. I know this does not make riveting television. And I keep telling myself that I'm going to do this part, the just base coating and color blocking off stream, and I never do. Yeah, Nylock Oxide, that's my go-to. I'm gonna lay it on heavy. I have a video that I found that I've saved and I haven't watched yet on how to make my own verdigris wash. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched it, let alone tried to make it. My my miniature painting experimentation this week was loading up a syringe with super glue to see if that's gonna work. And if it doesn't, I'm using syringe needles as tips for my super glue bottles, because they don't clog up, and if they do, you can just heat them with a little torch or a lighter and break it up, which I'm about saving some super glue. Thanks, Grinnin. It's gonna get weirder. It always gets weirder. This is just the boring base coat part. As I've been kind of experimenting and researching new paint brands that I want to try, I've been kind of shitting on Games Workshop a little bit. But man, their metallics are just so goddamn good. It should be, yes. The Amazon wish list should be up to date, to the best of my knowledge. Motherfucker. I knew that was going to happen. And by knew, I mean I had no idea. Alright. Alright, well, we're going to re-glue one and then just start painting the other one bronze, because, man, we got a lot of snake to paint. I got 3 of these bad boys. One of them's a little bit bigger than the other one. It's supposed to be like a centerpiece and then 2 side pieces. John, you were too good to me. Excuse me. They go on like this altar kind of situation. And the altar is up on my bookshelf. I primed it right before the stream started, so it's drying. We might get into it if everything else kind of goes goes according to plan, we probably will get into that bit as well, but it's still got a little drying to do. I've been using Army Painter primer because it's $7-8 cheaper than the Games Workshop stuff, but it takes a little longer to dry, and it's a little bit more satin. It's got a little bit more shine to it than old Chaos Black. That's where GW really shines, is their metallics and their primer. That spray primer from GW is just the tits. Do I even have a purple wash? I have a purple wash. What the fuck am I thinking? I should have 2 purple washes now that I think of it. And oh, look at that little support that I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a support right there that I didn't take off because it kind of melted to the figure, and I didn't see it until just now. Oh well. I'll cover it up with something. It's under at least 2 coats of paint now, so it's staying. I didn't take particularly good care to clean these up before I started painting them because they're stone and old statues. They look a little rough. That's kind of all the better. Hell, I even thought about breaking the Dremel out and roughing them up a little bit more, but didn't quite trust myself to not screw it. You know, it is shockingly difficult to paint the underside of a Cobra. That hood just gets in the way. I was doing a metallic piece. I was doing a gold dragon not that long ago, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to be clever, and I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to do a spray prime of a gold metallic, because you can get like gold metallic spray paint. But me, being a moron, grabbed the wrong stuff and sprayed this fantastic gold dragon miniature that I spent like a week and a half printing out all the parts to, and no other paint would touch it. Like I've tried to put paint over that gold and it just bead and roll off, and I completely screwed up that mini, and I was so mad at myself. And I've not reprinted it. I've not I've not even tried. Mostly because I'm too busy printing other shit. Like more dragons. I have another huge-ass dragon around here that we're going to paint eventually. I'm holding off on one of them until I get an airbrush. Because it's huge, and it's blue, and getting an even coat of blue with a brush over something that big is just going to be a huge pain in the dick. So I'm waiting until I get an airbrush to really dive into the blue one. But I've got, like, I have a boatload of dragon miniatures. Like, an embarrassing amount of dragon miniatures. Alright, we are almost 2 snakes down already, and we're only 35 minutes into the stream. 35 minutes of just painting one color. And somehow, at least 3 of you have stuck around. Why? But the good news is we're almost done with this color. For a little while, anyway. I'm going to bring it back for some continuity on some other pieces, but we're almost done painting bronze snakes. Alright, what did I miss? Always look for spots that I miss, because I miss it a lot. There we go. I think, yeah, that's 2 down. 2 bronze snakes. Let's pull our 3rd one back in here. Hopefully the glue is dried, and we can keep him on the stand for a little bit. I'm kind of wanting to do like an entire like Yuan Ti kind of set, like some snake people and some matching terrain, but I say that like every time I paint a thing, I want to do a whole set of them. I want to do a whole set of frost giants. I want to do a whole set of goblins. I want to do a whole set of snake people. Guess how many whole sets of anything I've done? None. Oh, this one's looking rough. But that's okay, because by the time I'm done with him, he's going to look even worse. Alright. 3 copper Sneekky boys. All painted. Well, all base coated. So now let's get another. Oh man, that's just. Sorry. Let's get us. Let's try it John's way. Let's get us a purple wash. You know what? I want to check out how Army Painter's purple wash is going to look too. There's one of my egg cups. There's a good hearty squirt of that. Ooh, I can already tell I'm going to like that. And then we'll try some Army Painter right next to it. Indistinguishable. I am still at Siebenthaler. I'll use this up. And will be for the foreseeable future, or until Jen kicks me out. This wash goes on so smooth. Army Painter washes are really nice for going on smooth, but it's kind of kind of the situation where if I don't do it heavy enough, I can't see. Oh, did it not? Did you click the one on the screen or the one in the About section? Because they're two different things. The one on the screen is affiliate links. So you can buy yourself some paint stuff and I get some kickback. John, the purple wash was a good call. That looks great. I'm very excited about how that's looking. A little too much over there, so I'll move some of it over here. I guess that is kind of confusing since I've got two Amazon wish listy looking things. Mouth a little bit, or a lot of bit, evidently. Just slather it in. Oh, damn it. Too moss, too moss. Alright, there we go. That looks better. One. So many snakes. I'm going to use up the Army Painter wash that I've got on my palette here, and then I'm going to go back to the Games Workshop just because I kind of like this better and I want to save it. At least in this application, and it's not always like this, but at least here on this snake, it is impossible to distinguish what is Games Workshop wash and what is Army Painter wash. Hey, Disease Monkey Hand, what I've always wanted, and frankly what my hobbies needed. Hey, insert yourself. I absolutely missed that follow, and I apologize. I'm really bad at that part. If you're still here, maybe you're not, but if you are, I missed your follow, and I'm sorry about that. I do that a lot. I should probably pay more attention. Or turn like an alert sound on. John, I really appreciate it. You'll probably see it on the stream the minute it comes in the mail. I've always been an impatient child, and I always open up my Christmas paints, or my Christmas presents early. Think a little bit more there, a little bit more there. That's 2 purple gold snakes. Let's get number 3 up here and finish these bad boys off. Well, finish this step of these bad boys off. Then we get to start doing some fun stuff. Before I do the green shade, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a highlight. Maybe just like a mid-tone highlight. And then do the green wash over it to kind of bring that back down. And I'll also differentiate the tones too between the purple copper and the green copper. Make the highlights stand out a little bit more. I might be making that shit up. Yeah, dude, I miss Dame shows too. I miss Tinderbox shows. God, I miss stage. Killing me. Killing me. I found my costume from that Dames show that they did where I was the stage kitten. I found my costume today. That ridiculous like bow tie jockstrap thing. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you go on Facebook and you search Zach Crouch, that's Zach with a K, that's me, and go back through my pictures, you will find pictures of me in full makeup, wearing a sparkly G-string jockstrap / bow tie combo, and frankly, I look delightful. I highly recommend you go find them. Spread them around the internet. TMZ will call me any day now. If I didn't live with kids, I might, rock around in it all day. Gotta wait for a weekend where they're with their dad. I'm really laying the wash on heavy on this one, just because, I don't know, why not? Just in some spots. Give it some variation, so it's got like lighter spots and darker spots. But I want to make sure the wash is all over it, because I want the wash to take some of that shine out. There we go. 3 purple copper Sneekky boys. And now we get to start having some fun. Let's see, which one of these is closest to dry? Looks like none of you, frankly. Alright, well, those two aren't anywhere near dry, so we're going to move on to something else. Just for a minute. I want to go ahead and do a base coat on this little altar, because this is going to be my test piece for the stone look that I want to do. Ooh, I might have thinned that down too far. That's feeling awful liquidy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's soup. Working though. So I didn't want to do just like the same stone that I do on everything. I want these to kind of be a sandstone. So I'm going to use lots of tans and browns. And really like, South America, Central Africa, stonework in the jungle kind of vibe. Well, I guess these are Yuan Ti, and they're kind of based off of Mesoamerica. At least in their aesthetics. I don't think there are snake people in Central America. Can't be sure. That's going to take several coats, because, man, when I went ahead and moved that GW paint over to a dropper bottle, and I might have thinned it out a little too much, and by a little too much, I mean, holy shit, that's thin. That's almost a glaze. think I may have overshot it because I was doing another one, and instead of putting thinner in, I accidentally put varnish in the paint, and I'm very concerned that I've ruined it. But we shall see. Right, that one I should be able to hold with some blue tack. I'm not going to bother even trying to paint the bottom of these. Because they're terrain pieces, they're going to be moved around a bunch, they're going to be moved from table to table, hopefully. So, we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably change my mind about 3 times before I'm done. Nice, ugly, thin coat on there. The dramatic zoom on this web camera is just cracking me up. It can't decide what my face is. I'm just going to do all of this detail the same tan color. Go back and cover shit up as I need it. Now, it might possibly not be up still, or might not be up anymore. 40K stuff tends to get pulled down real fast. They have to be real careful with how they name things when they upload them to Thingiverse. Otherwise, GW pulls it down. They're a little protective of their IP, I think. Which, when they aren't pulled down, makes finding them hard because they're named dumb things. Oh, that looks great. That's an excellent color. Remind me post stream if you can't find it, and I'll send you like a screen grab of it. Whenever I find something 40K that I like on Thingiverse, I just download it immediately. because you never know how long it's going to be up. There have been some like, some of their stuff has just been up for years, and some of it gets taken down like weekly. Very pleased with this color so far. How it's going on. Maybe I didn't overthin it. I probably did overthin it, but not enough to like ruin it. But I cannot, absolutely cannot put this paint on my wet palette. It'll just turn to soup. It'll just turn to a wash, like, instantly. That was kind of what gave me the impression that I... Yeah, I've got it. I've got it downloaded. Kind of what gave me the impression that I had over-thinned it was I put it on my wet palette and it was just soup. One more coat, I think, on the big flat part, maybe two, with how thin this is, but it's going on beautifully smooth. Let that dry. Come back over here, see if you see where you need more coats. Just trying to get all the color blocking and base coating and all that shit done all at the same time, so that I'm not going back and forth between that and dry brushing and washing and dry brushing again and washing again, and then we got to go back and do base coats. Trying to avoid that as best as possible. Just get all the boring shit out of the way at once. And then we get to play with the fun stuff all at once on everything, and then everything starts to look great all at the same time. That's my plan anyway. Finding more spots where there are like gemstones, and that makes me very happy because I'm gonna be a little cheeky and I'm gonna do blue gems on this yellow brown stone. They'll really pop, but like whenever I think miniature painting gems, whenever I paint gems on my minis, I almost invariably do them red. So I want to force myself out of that bubble. Hell, when I did the test piece for the snake eyes, I did them red. Just because that's what my brain always goes to. But I think I'm going to do them blue. I don't see many blue gems on minis. And they're all faceted. So that's weird. I've not done faceted gems. I've done all the gems I've ever done have been like 40k Eldar spirit stones that look like cabochons. I cannot recall ever doing a faceted gem. But I've done some other stuff that use the same technique. And I'm going to try and do it and not fuck it up. I should be. The next scheduled appearance is going to be Wednesday evening, but I'm going to try and be on during the day a little bit before that. Trying to get this in the day shit started. I just have to have the motivation to do it. What did I do with... There it is. Alright. Let's go ahead and get that piece done too. Why not? While we're at it. While we're painting shit beige. This is kind of the main piece. Like, the brazers are going to sit here in the corners, and then the snake boys stand behind it. This is kind of the centerpiece where the mini stands. So I might end up doing it a little darker than I initially intended to, because I don't want the yellow in this to be bright enough to draw away from the mini. I don't know what the mini's gonna look like yet, because I haven't even started it. Ah, damn it! I'm leaking water again. These hollow minis just leak. And no matter how long I set them to dry and drain, they just keep putting liquid out. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what... I haven't painted the mini yet. I'm not even going to start the mini yet. Have a great night, John. Sleep well. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, your support. And we'll talk dread soon. Yeah, but I don't want the base to outshine the model. So, it might be a little... I'm kind of leaning that I might do it a little darker than I initially thought. Weird overhang there. This is where that thin paint is going to be a pain in the dick. Because I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of coverage I got to get. And if the little sarcophagus was any indicator, then I'm going to need at least 3 coats to get a decent coverage. This is not like the copper that I did. I do need like opaqueness in my paint for this one. It's gonna take some work. Conveniently, I got enough pieces here that I can kind of move around them and keep, you know, something under the brush at all times. This is really the first, like, terrain piece I've done in quite a while. I don't think I've done one on the channel yet, and, hell, I don't think I've done one this year. I don't do a lot of terrain. I want to. I want to do more terrain. But, pain in the ass to print, that's for sure. with as many like flat surfaces as this has, I'm surprised this printed as good as it did. More just boring painting a single color. What terribly riveting streaming I'm doing these days. So let's talk about y'all. What's y'all up to? Who's watching? If you're watching and you haven't made yourself known, say hi. Or just lurk. That's fine too. I don't judge for lurking. Even that up. Some nice vicious brush strokes. Gonna let that simmer for a minute. I gotta change my hand grip, which means I need to let some of it dry so that I can pick it up a different way to get parts I can't reach. That's a little bit too big to put on a pill bottle. So we'll just pick this one up and do our second coat here. On these, because they're kind of background pieces, I'm not going to worry about being super opaque. So I'll probably just do 2 coats. Unless there's like a stubborn spot that absolutely has to have a 3rd coat. Well, shit, there's a spot that I didn't give a 1st coat. Yeah, I definitely overthin this paint. It's not ruined. I can still use it. But it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, that looks better. That's 2 coats. And that does look better. It's already looking pretty sandy, which I'm into. Like, this is looking... I don't know. Just looks good. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how it's coming out. This rim here. Little transparent. That whole side looks like shit. You know, I really should have, if I was going to mess up a paint by over-thinning it, trying to get it into a dropper bottle, I probably should have done a paint that I don't use as much. I use this paint all the fucking time. Alright, let's give brown a break and go back to our snakes. Now, before I do the second wash, the green wash that John was saying, I want to go ahead and I want to get in there and I want to do some gold highlights. Actually, I'm going to leave the cap off of that one for a minute, see if I can dry it up a little bit. Where's my garbage can? There it is. Get some gold paint out. Use our makeup brush. We're just going to bring that up to like a mid-tone gold with dry brushing. Sometimes it's hard for me to see when dry brushing metallics, see where I'm putting paint. So I constantly have to be moving the mini so that I can see the change in the shimmer. Oh yeah, that's going to look great with a green on it. And it's a pretty uneven dry brush, which I like, because these are old beat up statues. They shouldn't be even. You know, more rain has gotten to some parts than others, and just angles of drips are different, and yeah, that looks cool. Let's do that. Go ahead and do that to all three. A little bit too much paint in my brush. That's less dry brushing and more just painting. And the desired effect is still there. That's two. One more. Can't really tell what's going on under the big Cobra hood thing right now. I just don't think I'm putting down enough paint to really see it. But I think it's looking pretty cool. That purple and gold really looks nice next to each other. Shame we're gonna cover it all up with another wash. Alright. Sneekky boys. We've done the first dry brush. Let's see, what next? Green wash, I guess. We can go ahead and do the second wash on the snakes, then get back into our stairs. So much to do. So much paint. We're going to do this kind of olivey green. A little less vibrant. And actually a little less opaque than the other wash. Oh yeah, that's going to look cool. I like it. I'm for it. Even over the purple, that looks killer. And then on these, we'll do one final highlight. Once we get this wash on and it's dried, we'll do one final highlight. And then I'll go in with my Nylock Oxide and give it like some verdigris and some of that like green patina kind of look, like down the spine and in the mouth, around the eyes. Oh yeah, that green looks killer. There you have it, folks. You heard it here first. Green wash on top of purple wash. Looks fucking rad. Your results may vary, because you may not be putting it over copper, over black, over gold highlight. You may be doing something else with it. I'm gonna do something else with it. I'm gonna do more with it because I really like how I really like the kind of sickly tone it gives. Yeah, that's excellent. That's just excellent. And it really brings out the gold highlight. That's kind of surprising. Well, I guess it shouldn't be, because I said it was gonna a little bit ago. I kind of postulated that it was. I hypothesized that because the gold and the purple will have different tints on them, the highlights will stand out more. I didn't think it would I didn't think I was actually right, though. Any other D&D nerds in the chat that can answer me questions about Yuan-Ti gods? I don't know any D&D realm snake gods. I know spider gods and night gods and dancing gods. Thank you, Jen. I almost like asked you to come down here and look at this, because that green, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but that green wash is fucking just setting these off. I'm very, very happy with how these are looking. Two moss. What am I missing here? I think that's about him. Get a little bit more in the mouth. This is the one I kind of flooded the mouth with purple. Oh my god. Knocking up all kinds of stuff. Knocking over all kinds of stuff. You, Improbable, are a darling. I kind of forget that Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide exists. Because it just gets no love from Wizards, and basically everything in it has been reprinted better in other books. I would try one of the Monster Manual books, like Mordenkainen's or the other one, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, and damn it, what's the other monster book? I don't know, for some reason it's completely escaping me. I have them all on my phone. It would take me nothing to like just lean over and look, but then I would have to stop painting. And I'm madly in love with this green wash right now, and I don't want to stop. Volo's, that's it. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Thank you. I don't remember which one really heavily featured the UNT. I know the Monster Manual just kind of skirts over them like they barely exist. The Monster Manual does that with just about everything. The 5th edition Monster Manual sucks. It doesn't suck, but like, you know, a lot of these monsters have like incredibly complex backstory and lore and like world building built into them, and the Monster Manual just barely touches it. Like I just Jen and I painted those dryads a couple streams ago, and so I did like some homework, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn about dryads, and like the amount that the Monster Manual does not cover is embarrassing. I'm a big fan of the Mr. Rex videos, the What the Monster Manual Doesn't Tell You About series. And his one on dryads is real good. Alright, that is 3 snakes with a highlight and second wash. So we'll let that dry. We'll rinse our big old wash brush out, and we will go back to the sandstone. And I kind of just want to focus on one piece for a second. I'm at differing levels of opaqueness. Like the braziers, I almost said braziers. The braziers are kind of, you know, at a mid-level. The stairs look like garbage. They're going to need a lot. But this sarcophagus is actually pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a few layers in on the sarcophagus and kind of get a roadmap for what it is I want to do with the rest of it. Where is my normal wash brush? There it is. Come on, you little bastard. Alright, this is a cursed paint, so we're going to put it in the thing. It's Agrax Earthshade. Agrax Earthshade is known for spilling across tables far and wide. We're just going to do a brown wash. And I'm going to lay it on pretty thick, because there's a lot of smooth surface on here, and I've got an idea, like I've got a trick I want to do to kind of give it some visual interest. But it needs a heavy wash, because it needs a wash that'll won't dry quick. It dries slow. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a nice heavy wash on it, and then we're going to stipple it. Just very lightly. We'll stipple the wash while it's drying. And it'll just kind of give the wash some texture. Let's get a nice hearty amount here on the top. And if this doesn't work, of course, we'll always just paint over it and do something else. So let's get scooch this around a little bit. Get it a little bit. There we go. And then I have in my possession somewhere where did it go? My paint is drying while I'm looking for a brush. We'll use this one. No, we won't. That's my good dry brush. We'll use this one. It's not quite as beat up as I like, but we're just going to kind of break this up and stipple. Like that. And we'll do it to the side here. It's going to be less noticeable on the sides, but it should still be there. And it should help give us that sandstone kind of texture. And we'll reinforce it with our highlights and kind of choices in that direction. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's let that wash dry. It almost looks marbly on top. That's kind of neat. Unintended side effect. What next? Where are we at? Let's wash these. Do the same thing. We're going to do that heavy brown wash and then stipple. Because these are a bit more textury, they're not going to need quite the opacity pre-wash. Nice heavy wash and then stipple. I really want to make sure that I'm filling in the cracks and the joins between the stones with the wash, because I really want to. I might even like go back in and darken those up just with a regular old paintbrush here in a minute, because I really want to like emphasize the separation of the stone. Like the mortar that was used was an entirely different caliber of brown. Make sure that I'm getting that in there. There we go. There's our wash. Make sure our brush is dry. And stipple. Alright. Changing gears. We're not stippling the braziers. It's taking all of the paint out of the cracks, like I was just talking about. I wanted to emphasize. So I'm not going to worry about the stippling on the braziers. We'll just give them a good wash. there's that. Alright, so, where are we at? We got a wash drying on the snakes. We got a wash drying on the braziers. We got a wash drying on the sarcophagus altar thing. So I guess it's back to painting the stairs beige. Oh, okay. Improbables come through with some Yuan Ti gods. 3 main gods. The Yuan Ti acknowledge a range of divine beings that include true deities, primordial spirits, and some creatures of questionable origin. I do love a good creature of questionable origin. I like a culture that, like, oops, we've accidentally been worshipping an archfey. My bad, dog. I'm gonna do, probably tonight after the stream, I'm gonna do a deep dive on some Yuan Ti gods. Because I want this shrine to be to a specific god. I don't know which one, because I don't know anything about snake people gods. Like maybe the party has heard about some, like, cursed... Ooh, no. A group of Naga have approached the party. Naga and Yuan Ti do not get along. Even though they're both snake people, they both consider themselves to be the epitome of snake people, and therefore look down on the other ones. Also, Nagas are kind of like tyrants. And they rule what the people that they rule absolutely. So like Spirit Naga, Evil Naga are basically slave drivers. Whereas Guardian Naga are a bit more chaotic good, lawful good, and they're benevolent dictators. Hey Nick, good to see you. We're painting on easy mode today. We're just doing some terrain. Because after I did the see-through fabric last stream, I was thinking to myself, you know what, how am I going to push the envelope? How am I going to, like, challenge myself for the next paint job? Well, it turns out I'm dumb. I don't have to challenge myself every paint job. Sometimes I can just paint some terrain and do it on easy mode. So we're doing a Yuan Ti serpent altar thing, because I have like this red serpent lady miniature, but she's big, so she's gonna be like the avatar of some serpent god. Oh, Dendar, the night serpent, came into being before recorded history, spawned from the feverish dreams of the first intelligent creatures. She subsists and grows stronger by feeding on the fears that plague the folk of the world. Her followers believe that Dendar is a harbinger of the end of things, which will come when she amasses enough power to consume the world. So, the D&D version of the Norse word that I can't say, the world serpent, from Norse mythology. Which I'm into. You know, don't get me wrong. Just because I see a real world connection does not mean I'm not talking shit about it. Alright, I've painted everything except my handholds. Right? Don't we all? Don't we all need to research some snake gods? Just doing some long brush strokes to kind of even out the brushing. This is still not quite opaque, but I'm getting closer to happy. So I'm just trying to take some of the brush marks out. as thin as this paint is, it's not leaving a lot of brush strokes. But, you know, never hurts to give it a good going over. That's still a little wet to be giving that second coat. That's alright. How many terrain pieces? Alright, so let me finish these quick little paint strokes here and get to a good stopping point on this piece. So that I can throw it down like that. I will show you. So we have our center piece here. This is the center piece. And then in the corners are these two braziers, which we just got a wash on. They kind of sit in the corners here, in these recesses, right? Red. And then we have these three huge bronze snake statues that kind of sit arranged behind it. And what I kind of think I want to do is once I get all of the... Oh, and it's got like an altar thing that sits on it. I kind of think what I want to do is once I get everything painted to a piece that I like, is to mount it all onto one like round base, and then kind of build that up with a clear resin so that it looks like this altar is kind of in the middle of a fountain. Maybe. That might be a lot of work. Right, you're hearing braziers. I'm trying very hard not to say braziers. And I'm not doing a very good job. I'm definitely wanting to say braziers. There's the brush I want. Let's see if I can't get under here and get where my fingers were painted. The problem with painting terrain pieces is holding them as a bitch. Especially when you're impatient like me and you don't want to just like let the whole thing dry and then paint this random little section on the side. Essentially, it's just primer where my fingers were, because how can I paint through my fingers? A weird translucent spot right there. So, just trying to... She just hulked the scissors? Oh, she hulked the scissors. Which scissors? Conveniently, we only have about 80 gajillion pairs of scissors in this house. Alright, that's good. Okay. There's that. The wash on the braziers are still drying. Looks like we've got some wash. Ah, another snake god. Mershulk. Though the master of the pit is not conscious, neither is he entirely dormant. Mirroring the fate of the Huan Ti in the world, Mershulk entered a deep slumber when the serpent folk left the surface and went into hiding in ages past. It is unclear if declining worship caused him to fall asleep, or if his prolonged torpor caused his worshippers to abandon him. Even in his compromised state, Mershulk grants spells to his clergy in response to their invocations, rousing him as possible in the latter part of this description. Alright, so kind of want to give the snakes. Ooh, ritual murder. I'm into that. You know, a sleeping god does sound pretty good for a lost shrine in the jungle, don't you think? get another dry brush, giant dry brush out. We're going to do our last highlight on these. We're going to go back to that same gold. Or are we? Or are we? What does this gold look like? Fuck you, snake. Yeah, let's do this gold. This is a fun gold. I don't think I've used this. Just really want to make sure that it's shaken up, though, because it looks pretty separated. I need to get, like, one of those paint shakers, or, they make these little things. They're like $20 on Amazon, but they're for shaking fingernail polish bottles. I need to get one for painting, or for shaking my paints. Yeah, that is just, there's no paint there. That's just glitter. Damn it. Well, I tried. We're going back to our original paint. Our original gold. Do just a light highlight. Just to bring it up to shiny again. We don't even have to do all of it. Just kind of the really prominent areas. The hood. The face. Good. Snaky boy number 3 over there. Still has a little bit of wash that's drying. So I don't really want to dry brush it yet. I'm hoping that it, just hearing me saying that, like, speeds it up a little bit. Because we are so close to done with these snakes. Vicious looking. I'm so into it. Just a little bit of wash drying right there on the belly and right there in the hood. Killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Once we get this dry brush done, we can get the verdigris on, the kind of patina, and do the gems in the eyes. See how they look next to each other. Yeah, I like it. Could be a little bit shinier in the face in comparison. Alright. Our snakes are dry brushed, except for that huge spot right there in the middle that I missed. Seth. In the last years before the Yuan-Ti Empire collapsed, Seth appeared to the Serpent Folk in the form of a winged Yuan-Ti. He promised to lead the Yuan-Ti away from the brink of defeat and back to the pinnacle of world domination in return for their veneration. Many of Mershalk's devout turned to the worship of the sibilant death. believing him to be an avatar of their deity. They granted him enough power to mount a brief recovery, but those actions were too little and too late. Just a big old spot right here in the middle of this one that I missed. There, that's better. Alright. Too little and too late to prevent the collapse of their empire. Seth chose to rest and gather strength during the years of decline as more and more of the Yuan Ti adopted his worship. So he's basically Snaky Boy Jesus. Do a little bit more here and here just to really sell that opaqueness on this piece before I do the verdigris. I want to give that dry brush just a little bit of time to, oh fuck, that's the wrong paint. I want to give that dry brush just a little time to dry, because it dries so fast because it's so little paint, but there's, you know, there's always some moisture to it that you want to let cure before doing anything else, especially something as liquidy as this verdigris stuff that I'm going to use. For those of you who have been watching the channel for a while, I'm going to be using the Nylock Oxide wash that I spilled on channel. Finally going to be using it. There we go. Look at that. Ridiculousness. Now, I need a piece of paper towel. Conveniently, it's all over the place. Because the way this works is you slop this on like it's a heavy wash, and then you use a paper towel to kind of like wash away the high bits so that the verdigris only remains in the lowest parts. So let's get one of our smaller snakes, and we'll start with a little small piece. How about right back here on the spine here, just so we can get our technique right. I'm using the last of the bottle that I spilled. I was very fortunate in that not one but two viewers bought me a replacement bottle. You just kind of slop it on and then wipe it off. And there we go. Gives it like a verdigris. A little too much. Go the rest of the way down and into the face. Scooch it up onto the hood here. Look at that. Look how cool that is. It works so well. It's really easy to get carried away with this stuff. But you don't really like want to do it super heavy all over the place, because then it just looks like you painted your bronze statue green. That scared the shit out of me. Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, I'm doing this over the whole thing. Fuck what I just said about overdoing it. I'm overdoing it. I'm gonna overdo it. I'm gonna overdo it on purpose, because that just looks too good not to. But we are gonna do it one section at a time to make wiping it off easier and more controllable. I kind of went quiet there because really there's only so much I can talk about how awesome this looks. And I really, really wish that the camera did anything close to justice for what I'm seeing. Especially when I start getting down here on this, on like the scaly bits. Oh, it's just gonna look too good. Too good. Look at that. Look at that. Normally you wouldn't get verdigris really in the mouth and under the hood here. But you also don't get a lot of ancient snake gods sending their avatars to the world. So, you know, creative license. Maybe the basin or the valley that this shrine is in floods, so this is seeing the underside of some water. Maybe that's why there's patina in the spots that don't get rain. Now, the real trick here is I'm going to do another highlight for a grand total of 3 highlights. This one very, very light, but just to really reinforce that that verdigris is under and in the cracks and crevices and not really on the surface. Look at that. Look how cool that is. It's not a foolproof method, and there are problems with it. For instance, the paper towel is leaving fuzzies on my snake. And I don't like that. I wasn't planning on doing another highlight, but I also wasn't planning on doing the verdigris all over. And it's taken a little bit too much of the metallic out. So I just want to give it a little bit of that back. Not a lot. It's going to be a very light highlight. There. That is one pretty verdigris statue. Let's get him back on his rest here. Next. So next, we'll do the final stage of highlight. And then we'll do the eyes. Because I really want to do them last so that they're on top and they really pop color-wise. And then just to like double, triple, quadruple sell the effect, I'm gonna put a clear varnish or a clear gloss on the eye to make them look shiny. All right, verdigris snake round 2. Just doing the top of the head here. I don't know. We'll do it big section by big section. We'll just do big swaths. See if we can't speed this process up a little bit. It's a really pretty green color. I wonder if I could just use this as a paint. Probably not. It's real thin. It's like crazy thin. Just the instant difference that makes. That's why that's one of my favorite paints, and that's why I got so butthurt when I spilled it. I need more paper towels. Let's go on the rest of the way down the back. Quite a bit here. And just spread it as necessary instead of like going back for lots of little doses. Now, because we've done such a great job aging up our statues, I'm gonna have to like really double down on the rest of this to make it look just as good. And suddenly easy mode wasn't so easy anymore. So to compare, the back, the front, verdigris, no verdigris. Now, if there are any bits where the verdigris overlaps and gives me tide marks, I can hide that because I'm going to be doing that next round of highlight and dry brush. That just makes my life so easy. Yeah, I'm getting some tide marks where I'm overlapping a little bit. That's okay. Who cares? There aren't enough, like, actual temples and shrines to snake gods in the world. Whatever happened to worshipping snakes? I'm not a religious guy, but I could probably get down with some snake worship. But they have really good, like, ritual orgies, snake worshippers. Very squirmy. There we go. That's looking like something. That's 2 snaky boys greened. 1 more to go. And then we can get back to painting something else. And then come back to these. And then go back to something else. And come back to these. You know, normally I do this like back and forth dance on 1 mini. Like, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to work on the legs some, and then I'm going to work on the head some, and then I'm going to work on the hair some, and then back and forth and around and skipping around. But now I get to do it between multiple minis, and it's kind of getting hard to keep track of what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie. I'm also kind of like jamming in my head. I've had a song stuck in my head all day. But I can't play it on Twitch because Twitch is getting just absolutely hammered with Digital Music Copyright Act complaints. right now, and so like I can't even risk it. I'm risking it enough with my current playlist because it's got some license-free remixes of uh, of songs from a popular video game. Like streamers were getting hit with DCMA complaints for music from the games they were playing. And Twitch's response was, until we work this out, mute your game. No music. But I think they're trying to work something out. Since I can't keep this fucker on his fucking pill bottle, I'm just gonna hold him for a minute and do it like this. So he might have the worst looking verdigris of all of them, just because I'm having to do this a little wonkified. I could probably be filling this like quiet time with like pitches for you to donate to the Venmo and buy stuff off the Amazon list and buy your own stuff from the affiliate links and subscribe and follow, but I just really don't feel like it today. If you want to do all those things, you can. You probably will. You probably already have. Let's be real. So just thanks for watching today. That's all you're going to get. You're going to get a big ol' thanks for watching, because 90% of why I do this stream is just to have some company while I'm painting. And you guys are, when I can get you talking, you guys are great. And even when I can't get you talking, I get to sit here and like prattle on to myself and talk to myself, and it doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel awkward. Because, I'm theoretically talking to the person that's going to watch this on YouTube in 6 months when I'm famous. That's a joke. One last step on this guy. Fuck it, I'm just going to hold it in my hands. He's not drying fast enough for me. I'm just going to do this on top. And then the verdigris. The general verdigris. I also kind of think I want to go in and like add some very specific, like here's a rivulet of verdigris, like specific thought verdigris, rather than just like an overall tone of it. Is it verdigris or verdigris? Because now in my head I'm saying it wrong. So is it verdigris or is it verdigris? I think it's verdigris. But the hell do I know? Shit. Hang on. big old tide mark right there. It dried before I could wipe it off. That's okay. I can fix it. Alright. Oh, well that helps. It's... I can't tell... Like, that's how it's spelled, both pronunciations. Alright. Alright, so we're about... we're almost done with the snakes. We really are. And let me tell you, they're looking fucking killer. Like, I'm so hyped about them. So, I'm going to very carefully move that one while the glue dries again. And then, this one looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and do that last run of a highlight on this. And what color do I want to highlight? Yeah, I think I want to go back to our original copper. Nah, gold. Gold it is. We want gold. I'm not done with the bronze because the bronze is also going to be the cups on the braziers that hold all the coals and everything. But we've got a minute before we have to do any bronze again. This is just going to be a quick, very, very light dry brush of gold, just to bring a little bit of that shine back, because this many washes and this verdigris treatment just really kills the shine. So I just want to give it a little bit of that back. Very, very light. There's almost no paint at all on that brush. Just enough to hit the very top bits. There. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very happy with that. Let's have you. Happy with you. This one's gonna get a little bit of extra dry brush just because I went a little heavy on the verdigris here, and it shows. I was too slow to get some of it wiped off. Trying to do too big of pieces at once. So I just want to really try and give this one some undertone back. It's already closer to matching the other two. All right, yeah, that's that. Very happy with that. Very happy. Alright, what next? We're going to let those sit for a minute and really let that verdigris dry all the way through. And while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and do our wash on our stairs here. Again, we're going to go pretty heavy But then, because this has got those flat surfaces, I want to do that stippling effect. But because there's so much of it, I really want to do one area at a time. Let's get a nice even coat of our brown wash here. There we go. That's kind of the thickness that I want. And then we take our brush and we stipple. And then what I want to do is I want to come back in and just darken the cracks back up. This is what I was planning on doing on those braziers, but they were just too small for me to bother. I want to keep the stippling effect in the flat bricks, but I want the cracks to be really apparent. So I'm just dabbing a little bit of extra wash down into the cracks there. Let's give a little bit of love there to the edge that I absolutely missed. And we'll just feather that in so that it transitions nice and smoothly. It's like wet blending but with wash. Tell that first layer of wash is already starting to dry, because when I first started doing this dabbing in the cracks thing, it was just kind of bleeding out and filling the crack up, and now I have to be a little bit more specific. There. That's the look I'm going for. Smooth in the middle and crunchy on the outside. Alright. Let's do the next step down. So in here, under the step, I'm just going to do I'm just going to tone it down with the brown. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Not going to bother stippling on like the sides and under the stairs. I just want the tops of the stairs to have that stipple effect, because that's the bit that like people are going to be looking at. I've been learning lately some really cool tricks I can do with washes, like how to use a wash to like really give something depth. That's all painting is, really. It's just a series of tricks that you are playing on the viewer. Off camera again. There. Now, I'm going to do the stairs. And actually remember to do the edges this time. And we stipple. It's hard to see the texture that this gives it on the camera. But when you do a wash, you're basically doing, you know, very, very thin liquid, so it ends up being very smooth looking. So by stippling it, I'm giving it a slightly coarse texture, which lends it a little bit more to looking like sandstone, which is what I'm going for. And I'm going to go in and darken up some of the cracks. Give our steps that brick look back. Just by very specifically and purposefully placing some more wash. The most basic piece that I'm painting tonight, and it seems to be getting like the most experiment. There. And one more. And then once this is done, we're going to go in and we're going to highlight the stairs. We're going to give it a dry brush with the same tan that I just washed over as a mid-tone, since we're using the wash to create a low tone. And then then I'm going to use like a bone color to give it that final highlight and really bring out the texture and edge, or edges, I should say. The underside here, flip you up, make sure I'm getting, yep. Let's paint some underside that nobody's ever going to see. Alright, we wash, and we stipple. And just off camera there, I'm just, like, I'm roughly dabbing the brush into my paper towel to make sure that I've got as much of the liquid out and that the brush is as dry as possible before I start stippling, because I don't want it to, like, apply paint, and I don't want it to move the wash around really. I just want it to break up the smoothness. Hard to see my brick lines on this one. Kind of rough it in and let the wash kind of sink. I'll lose a little bit of my stipple there, but whatever. Alright, there's that. Now, brazier. Let's see. This is where we're going to experiment with our highlights. I'm pretty sure what I just explained that I was going to do, pretty sure that's what I want to do. But I'm not 100% sure. So we take something small like this brazier and we experiment. So far, I'm liking the original tan as the mid-tone. Takes a lot of that dark brown out from the wash. There's a comparison. And makes our shadows very, very subtle, which is kind of what sandstone really looks like. Sandstone really doesn't have a lot of dark brown, even in the shadows. So yeah, I'm very happy with that actually. And then we'll go through with a bone color and give it the final highlight to actually make it look like it's got highlights rather than just some neutral tones. I put a new piece of paper down on my wet palette tonight, and I haven't even used it. I haven't even looked at my wet palette. Just fine. Not really doing much in the way of like shit you need a wet palette for anyway. Lots of dry brushing tonight. Oh yeah. Bone was definitely a good call. This is really bringing out the texture and making it, now it looks like stone rather than just tan. Now it looks like stone. I'm very pleased with that. So I'm calling that experiment successful. Alright. The stone on the braziers, I'm calling done. That looks killer. Now I'm going to go back to our sarcophagus that I forgot existed. And again, we're going back to that original tan for mid-tone. Then a little bit of bone just to set it all off. That was too much in my brush. Having to hold this at weird angles because of the pill bottle. You know what? I'm just going to do a line highlight up there. There's a little texture. Can I bring it out without ruining it? Oh yeah, that looks absolutely phenomenal. I am so happy with that. So happy with that. That looks so good. Ugh, love that. And I kind of think I want to do this emblem metallic, but I'm still thinking about it. Maybe doing it bronze to match the snakes. I'm still thinking about it. So it looks pretty good as just embossed stone. But I don't want, you know, I want everything to be stone. Alright, so let's take a break from all this dry brushing and do our snake's eyes. Oh, I said I was going to do blue. We're going to do blue eyes. And this is what I want the wet palette for. So let's break out our wet palette here. And put a little bit of the old Vallejo Prussian blue down. Oops. Drop my push pin in the paint. That should be plenty for 6 eyes. This is going to just be our base color. I want to be very careful to not fuck up all the brass and bronze that I've done so far. And I don't want to fuck up the verdigris that's in the eye socket either. So there's a way to do faceted gems where you basically do a color gradient on each facet. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to do what's the I want to paint the whole house that verdigris real color. I have no idea what the like Pantone color is, but I'm pretty sure I could look it up. And maybe I will after I finish doing these eyes. I want to at least get the base color on. It's, hold on, I'll just type it, because I don't know how to spell it. Alright, here we go. There are so many H's in this. There you go. I have, I think that worked. I think I got that too. If you Google Nylock oxide, it should give you the Pantone number, like the official, like, we're paint people and we decide what official is color. There are websites out there that their whole job is just to catalog color. Alright. Got our base blue down. Let's come in with a... Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a blue to whet any party rogue, whet their appetite. Is there bejeweled eyes? What party rogue is not going to want to steal the bejeweled eyes of a snake altar? Come on now. Precarious work. Even when they're big, eyes are a pain in the ass to paint. Alright, that's blue number 2. And blue number 3. I mean, these eyes look pretty cool, this color. Even though you can't tell that they're gems just yet. Shit. But I'm working on that. Because once I get this blue in, I'm going to take white, or what I like to think of as damn near white, and do like some light spots where light is hitting the jewels, and I'm going to paint the facets in so that you can really see what's going on up here. But I mean, just those three colors, that's a pretty blue. And I'm definitely going to be using that combo again. All right, now let's do some facets. I can let my breath out. Tiny, tiny brush strokes. This is going to be by far and above the most tedious thing I've done on these yet. This is some of that, like, your eyes go cross detail. You have to stick your tongue out at just the right angle to get it to work. Alright, that's one snake. Done. Like, completely done. Like, ready to go done. Awesome. I'm going to set him over there. Making progress. Now, there is a much more complicated way of doing facets on gems, but this is pretty small, and I'm not 100% sure that that other way would read at this size. Also, it's way harder and takes way longer. And right now, I'm not about that life. Again, today's about painting on easy mode. There we go. Another one done. Another one done. 2 snakes. 1 snake left. And even though this isn't the most realistic way that gems look, like real gems don't have white lines on the facets like this. It reads as gem, like from far away. I set the two other ones like way over there, and that I mean, that definitely reads as gems even from over there. Alright, our snakes are done. We have 3 beautiful altar snakes with blue gems for eyes. We're going to set those aside. Let them do their thing. We still have the braziers to do to finish up. Well, the bowls and the flames on the braziers. We still have to do the dry brushing on the steps. I'm going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and do the dry brushing on the steps. That'll get the steps caught up to everything else we've done. So, since we're dry brushing, we want dry, so I'm going to put the lid back on my wet palette and go back to my dry palette. Okay, so back to our original tan for our mid-tone. Good little dollop of that. The idea of dry brushing with this paint, as much as I thinned it on a, like from a wet palette, just that makes my stomach turn. Too much paint. Too much paint on the brush. Not enough paint on the brush. This is the problem with too thin of paint. Is I do a lot of dry brushing, and you can't do it if your paint's too thin. There we go. Now we're talking. Bringing that mid-tone back, and I really only care to do it at the top of the stairs. And the back, because that's a big area. There. And now, we go straight into the bone. We're not even going to rinse the brush out. Just straight into the bone color. You can see, I don't know if you can or not, but that just, the way that brings out the texture that's sculpted into the stone, and the texture from our stippling shows up a little bit. Like just with just that little bit of bone color, we've got ourselves some proper rocks. Great. Very happy there. Do the rest of our steps. She be like that. She's pretty adorable, my partner. Hey, it's Katie. How are you, dear? How's Georgia? Katie's here. It's a party now. How's the fam? Stairs. That sounds like a pretty good night. I'm not gonna lie. All right, our stairs are done. We now have 4 of the 7 pieces of this terrain done, and this could also be done if I decided to just not do that design. But I kind of think I do. I kind of think I do want to do that design to match the bronze in the braziers and the and what is going to be the bronze in the snakes. Everything's got to match. Everything's got to come back around. So this should be pretty quick though, because it's pretty small. Katie, I don't know if you were in here while I was painting them, but I did these earlier. These bronze statue snakes with gemstone eyes. And I'm pretty hyped about them. I'm going to show everybody all the time. Thanks for that cheer. This has been a good paint session. This is actually the longest I have painted without a cigarette break in quite a while. It's 3 Sneks. Sneeky Sneks. Their statue for an altar to Snake Lady, who has a snake for a butt, and snake for hair, and a pet snake with 2 heads. Right? I'm thinking it might be less sarcophagus and more altar. But I don't know. It could probably play for either, let's be honest. It's going to get a little less fancy here in a second when I start weathering out this bronze. Because remember, we did bronze, purple wash, gold, green wash, gold again, verdigris, and then gold again. So 7 different treatments on the bronze. And I've got to make this bronze match. So this bronze is going to get the entire treatment as well. As is the bronze on the braziers when we get around to finishing them. As a matter of fact, now that I've got the copper painted there, let's find our braziers. There we are. We'll go ahead and do the outside of the bowl. Oh, thank you guys so much. We got bits. We got subs. I think that puts us only. How many sub? Oh, whoa! Something's wacky here. I'm seeing things that that I don't quite believe, and I don't know what's going on. How many? The bar is too small for me to see. How many subs away from our goal are we? 4. We are only 4 subs away from our goal. If we, again, the goal, if we hit 20 subs by Christmas, I'm going to paint a mini entirely finger paint style. I'm going to use no brushes. It's all going to be finger paint. It's going to be insane. It's going to be dumb. It's going to look terrible, but god damn it, it's going to be fun. I've lost my chat because I got windows popping up and shit going on. I love you guys. Remember, also, if you are in the channel and you have not subbed, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account, and when you do that, you get 1 free sub a month. Yeah, we're passing around the same $5 bill, Katie. And we've been doing it for a while now. But yeah, with Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription to a single Twitch stream a month. So you could sub to my channel for the month for free, and I still get some support from that. It helps me out. It goes a long way towards helping me, not just like, you know, financially, because really I get like $1.50 from a sub. I don't even get enough to buy a damn soda from a subscription, but they stack up and they really help. I have a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. This is this is the universe telling me to shut the fuck up. I don't know how the hype train works. I have no idea. I've only ever seen it in real life. That one time we did it to Eric. We're going to do with the bronze on the sarcophagus and the braziers the same thing we did with the snakes, where we just bounce back and forth, do a step on one, then go do the same step on another one. But I'm only really worrying right now about the outside of the braziers, because the inside is going to get a very different treatment. lip up here. The inside is going to look like, well, it's going to look like wood and fire and coals. So that's almost an entirely different paint job. So I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know that I can work on the bronze bowl. Alright, there's one. See, I mentioned smoking, and now I really want a cigarette. So I think once I get through this bronze, I'm going to put the paint down for a second and have myself a smoke break. And then we'll go back to painting. So I'm kind of on a roll, and I kind of want to get as close to done as I can get. I think I spotted some more stuff I want to do bronze. There's this filigree stuff here. No, I think I'm going to leave that stone. I don't know. I'll stare at it for a minute and think about it. That's how I make most of my decisions, is I stare until I figure something out. Dramatic zoom. We'll do the lip around the rim here. And there's our brazier bowls. Now I gotta remember the order I did everything. Purple wash. That's what we did. Where's my purple wash? There's blue. There it is. Right in front of me. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Purple. purple, and one last purple. I really got to send John a Christmas card or something, because his idea to do the wash in purple and then green just really knocked that bronze out of the park. And like, even though I covered up a lot of it with the verdigris, you can still see it. You can still see like the different layers of tone and color, and it just looks so fucking good. Alright. There's purple on all of our brass, and at this point we have to wait for the wash to dry. And so at this point, it's cigarette break time. So I'm going to pop the Be Right Back screen up. And then I'm going to go have myself a smoky treat. And then I will come back in just a little while, and we will at least, at minimum, get the brass done on the sarcophagus and the braziers. We've only got 5 more layers of paint to do. Shouldn't take long at all. Alright, back in a moment. We're back, he said this time with his microphone turned on. We are gonna get jumped like right back into this because that cigarette was fantastic and I kind of want another one. So we're just gonna like hustle and get the brass done, and then I kind of want to figure out some like wear and tear things on these steps, because comparatively, comparing the steps, there we go. Comparing the steps to the Snakes, I just don't think they look right. I think the steps are a little too clean comparatively. And so I want to run, I have some like plant stuff that I kind of think I might want to run like a vine growing up the steps. I don't know. I'm gonna fuck around. We'll figure it out. We'll play. But I want to get the brass done first. Brass first, then play. So we've done the purple wash, and we've done the initial brass. So at this point, I'm just gonna skip the next the highlight I did here, and just go straight into the green wash. No, I'm not. I'm trying to talk myself out of doing the things that are gonna make it look really, really cool. But instead of a dry brush highlight, this time I think I'm just going to do a brush highlight. Just going to do lines. That way I can keep a little bit better control of my brush and not get paint all over the other colors that I'm trying to keep not metallic. I can dry brush the braziers, but this stuff, not so much. Yeah, that was a good call. Getting that highlight on there. And then when I put the green on, that's really going to make that pop. So from here, I can just dry brush. I can just do it the easy way. Go around the bottom of the bowl. And start just dry brushing like that. Super quick, super easy. Gets us a nice shiny highlight on top of that purple. I really need to use that purple wash for more because it just looks really fucking good. Another one. Somehow I've rubbed paint off there. I'm going to have to hide that with the verdigris. And there's our first highlight. Now we can go in with the green. then there's our green. Just looks so damn good. Now this is the highlight I can skip because it ended up getting completely obliterated by the verdigris. I can't say it right anymore. Verdigris. Which means I need a paper towel again. All right. And we're going to be a little bit more gentle with the verdigris on this one than we were the last time. Because on the snakes, I said you shouldn't go overboard with this. You have to be really careful. And then I immediately went way overboard. That looks dope. That looks so fucking rad. This one's a little bit more dry, so this is the one we're going to do. I really want to focus the verdigris on this, on like the top half of this. I want to leave the underside of it not as done. The idea being that that's the hottest part of the bowl, and that's also the part of the bowl that gets the least rain, the least weathering, so it's going to have the least patina on it. And that's a really subtle patina, and I really love it. I really think it looks great compared, like, sitting next to those giant snake statues. Very happy there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, one little thing I want to fix on that first one. I didn't get nearly enough in this crevice right here. So I'm not even going to bother wiping that away. I just went through and did a quick touch all the way around. Alright, and there's our bronze, and actually that's our sarcophagus finished. That's 3 finished pieces now. So that's going to sit on there like that. Which makes me want to do a little bit more. Actually, we're not done with the sarcophagus, because I want to dress it up a little bit more just to make it stand out from the stairs there. I think I'm gonna just really simply, I'm just gonna do, there's a band around the bottom. I think I'm gonna do that in like maybe another stone. No, I want to do it differently, but I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll do it in like a steel or like a silver. Silver could be cool. Yeah, let's do that. I've got a pretty good idea for how to do some some tarnished silver. And just something to make it stand out from the plinth that it sits on. And you know, if I don't like the silver, I can always go through and make that band the same kind of brass copper that we've been doing. It's always good to have a backup plan. I would assume so anyway, because to have a backup plan, you have to have a plan. And I definitely, certainly do not have that. Let's see if we can't age that down a little bit. Get it nice and grody. And we're going to do that by just layering black wash. I'm going to do a black wash around it, and then I'm going to give it a second to start getting tacky, and then I'm going to do a black wash again. Be careful around my brass there. Make sure those little pock marks get filled in. Because I think that's a scar from the 3D printing. But, hell, I'm going to use it. And make sure I get that top edge washed as well. Just gives it a nice line, nice separation. Once this wash dries, especially the second layer of this wash, once that dries, that most of the shine is going to be gone out of that silver. And I think instead of bringing it back with a highlight, I'm just going to leave it. Make it look old and tarnished. I might even put, like, I've got like a gritty oil kind of color. I might do that in some spots, maybe underneath it. Just to really sell that the silver is just falling apart. All right, we're going to give that a second just to start getting tacky. It's actually pretty good. I did a pretty thin layer. And then we're just going to run it through again. Do the exact same thing again. And if it's still not like dark and grody enough looking, do it a third time. The feeling of this silver needs to match the feeling of the bronze. And that feeling is old, weathered. see here. I already like that better. All right. Thank you very much, Jen. I'm very happy with it so far. Let's see, is this it? This is it. This is like a oily brown color, but it has like a sand texture in it. If I do this on the silver, like around the corners here, while everything is still wet, it should give me like a nice beat up kind of look. This is typically used as like a dark rust, but I almost never do dark rust. I always do like an orangey rust because I think it looks better. It's easier to tell what it is. Gotta make sure that I'm picking up some of that grit when I pick up paint. A nice long line of it here. And again, I want to do this while the wash is still wet so that it kind of naturally blends together without me having to try too hard. Yeah, that made it. That was the money right there. And then once that dries a little bit, I'm going to go back through and do a black wash over all of it again, just to blend it all down. And so, once I've done that, all that remains is the fire in the braziers. And I don't think I'm going to get into that tonight, because that's going to be a whole thing all on its own. So, we're probably going to save that for another night. And that should be ready for another black wash here in just a second. Come on, point, you bastard. There we go. Couldn't get a point back on that brush. Where's my wash brush? There it is. We'll do one more round of wash all the way around to tie everything in. Perfect. I don't know about y'all, but I am very happy with how that turned out. Very happy indeed. And then I want it to have like some moss and some vines and shit growing on it. But that's going to take a little bit of homework, and I don't think I've got a great idea right now of how to do that. So, we'll set it aside for now. We've finished our snakes, all 3 of them. We finished the steps. We finished the sarcophagus. And we got everything done on the braziers except for the fire. And then like the plant growth and everything. And then almost ready for our serpent queen to stand atop her altar. Pretty hyped. She looks like a mess right now because she had some weird gapping when I glued her together. So I'm using some green stuff to patch it up. And I'm not very good with green stuff, so you know, slow but sure. That's why we didn't paint her tonight. She'll be coming in maybe not next stream, But some stream very soon, we're going to do the Snake Queen. I can't spend this much time working on the base and not paint her, so that's definitely coming. Alright, and with that, I think we are done for the evening. This has been a fantastic stream. You guys have been an absolute treat. Thank you so much again. Check out the About section on twitch.tv/dungeonbrush if you are not watching on Twitch. If you are watching on Twitch, go to the About section and check it out. I've got how you can reach out for commissions. You don't reach out to me, you reach out to my friend John instead. I've got the Amazon wish list so that you can buy the stream paints and brushes and shit like that I actually use on stream. I've got the widget on the screen here somewhere. Again, this is on Twitch, that you can click and buy some paint products of your own that I recommend. Some stuff that I use to paint. You can buy your own, and I get a little bit of a kickback from that. They are affiliate links, so I get a little bit of there's the Venmo, there's the donation button if you want to send cash, and all cash tips, donations, anything like that goes towards replacing my hard drive that I broke, the hard drive that had all of my 3D models for 3D printing so that I could print minis and paint them on the show or on the stream. I keep wanting to call it a show. I'm thinking television. So all tips and donations go towards that this month. We are only 4 subs away. 4 subs away from our sub goal if we hit 20 subs by Christmas, and we are on track to do that if we can hit 20 subs by Christmas. What the fuck is my camera doing? If we can hit 20 subs by Christmas, I'm gonna do a stream where I finger paint a miniature. I'm gonna paint the entire thing just with my fingers. It's gonna look like shit. It's gonna waste a lot of paint, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So just tell your friends to come and sub. Use your Amazon Prime sub. It's free. As long as you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can do that for free, so there's no reason not to. The next stream I know is gonna happen is going to be Wednesday at 7, the Wednesday night stream. I don't know what I'm painting. I've got plenty of stuff around here to paint though, so tune in, hang out, chat with me while I paint. And then I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it until I get my ass to do it. We are going to be streaming during the day, starting eventually at some point when I can find the motivation to do it. And then once we get there's no schedule for that right now. Once we get a schedule for that, then, I don't know, you'll get notifications if you follow and subscribe. And you'll be able to watch during the daytime and avoid doing work and just watch a weirdo paint some miniatures. So, that's it for me. That's it for you. Go the fuck to bed. And I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, guys. Where's the right button? That's the right button.